depression is very selfish. It's selfish because you are only focusing on yourself. Loneliness increases chances of dementia 50%.
You feel like you're too lazy to dress up, to go out.
People who would give up, they would just die faster. My favorite is, good for you. This is so distancing.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, go to hell.
Why am I living? Your body will respond to your psychological thoughts of there is no purpose in living. This is heroin for us, right? This is clean heroin. You get addicted.
I don't know if it's fear of abandonment. I don't know if it's fear of dying alone.
Welcome to The Basic Show with Viktorija Pashuta.
All right. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to The Basic Show. Today we have a surprise episode, and I'm beyond excited because today, drums, I have my sister as my special guest on The Basic Show, Anna Pashuta.
Hello. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Welcome. So Anna is, just to give you guys a little bit of the background, she is the doctor of pharmacy. So she's coming from a little bit different world, from the Hollywood and beauty and fashion. And we talk every single day on the phone, and then we discuss all kinds of subjects. And I thought, you know what? We should get on The Basic Show. We should talk about pressing topics that people don't really... Well, they talk about them, but not from the perspective that we have in mind. So I thought today we can touch upon a few topics, maybe a few serious topics. We will dive a little bit deeper. We'll see how it goes. And I hope you guys enjoying this time. Maybe you're just driving. Maybe you are working out. Maybe you're just cleaning up the house. But I hope you just get comfortable and dive into this episode. So we're going to take first a sip of...
Thought you would never say that. Okay.
Freshly brewed latte. That will set us to the proper mood because we always cheers.
Cheers. And is it normal? Like my heart is beating?
Why your heart is beating?
I don't know. It's just the beginning.
It's the beginning. It's fine, girl. Let's take a sip of the nice, beautiful latte.
Okay. Cheers.
From our golden cups, those who can see us. Is it good?
Yep. It's the middle of the day.
Did it
in
hit
LA.
Did it hit the right
spot?
note?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm good now.
Okay,
Maybe
so now,
one.
after we took a sip of latte, we're gonna talk about different topics. But before this episode, we were driving on our way to the studio in Los Angeles, and we were like, okay, what shall we talk about? There's so many different things that we want to touch upon. And then one of the, personally for me, the most pressing topic was the epidemic of loneliness nowadays. And I think this topic is a serious topic, and I think it touches different people who are single, people who are in relationship, people who are successful, people who are not as successful. So I think this pressing issue comes across the border. So I want to talk to you and see your opinion of this. So what do you think? What do you think so many people are lonely?
Why so many people are lonely? Okay. I think so I'm judging obviously from myself first, but main first reason to me is that modern young people or people our age, they are extremely busy. So people are extremely busy. People are very ambitious. We have a lot of opportunity to do whatever we want, and everybody's definitely taking advantage of that. So people are very busy. So you're driving to work, you're working all the time, you're having side hustles, and you are exhausted at the end of the day. You didn't eat properly, you didn't sleep properly, and the last thing you want to do is to be a pleasant company for somebody. I think this is the main reason. And another thing that I see is that to be social, you have to have innate sense of curiosity. If you're not curious about unknown, if you're not curious about other people, if you don't find different personalities interesting, something to explore, you're not gonna find joy in socializing.
But hold on, I also have people who are successful, who have free time. So they do have free time, yet they still, I don't know if they're lazy or, everything is at the tip of their finger, especially with the, with the dating apps. It's like, okay, you have your free time, but you feel like you're too lazy to dress up, to go out, and plus to get the confidence to socialize, because that's kind of putting an effort, right? To go to put yourself out there and socialize. I don't think it's just because we're so busy. I think we do have free time though, you know?
I'm yet to meet people with a lot of free time, but um loneliness, like, what is it? Do you just cure it by going out, having a coffee with somebody? Is it about just chatting? You chat with a person, you are social, and that's it. So loneliness is something that accumulates chronically. It takes years to reach the level of you finding yourself in a situation where you didn't get joy from socializing. And it's not just chatting. I think, to me, kind of cure for loneliness, right, is not being necessarily amongst people and just talking and putting yourself out there, or doing one-time events like, oh, let's go play volleyball, or let's go to a party, let's go to somebody's dinner. And I think I just lost my train of thought.
No. It's good, because I remember you went to some of the social events to socialize specifically with people, and they went to the beach, and remember they doing those paintings. And
Yeah,
I remember
that's what I'm saying.
and I
Okay,
remember
tell
what
me.
you said, that it was a distraction. Like, some people, they use certain activities to distract themselves, yet still they feel lonely.
Yeah,
right?
okay, now it brings me back to my train of thought, that
Yeah.
it's about synchronizing with other people.
Mm.
And what that means is, can other people experience the same emotions that you do in a given moment? So the very simple way to put it is, why is it so fun to watch movie together with other people?
Mm-hmm.
So you're watching the same thing. You technically should be laughing at the same time with everybody. You should be scared at the same time with everybody around you. So that synchronization, it does something to us, does something to our brain. And that is kind of difficult to achieve. And especially when you go to one-time events, you're going to a party that your friend organized and it's dinner with other people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anybody. How can you possibly reach that level of same experiencing the same emotion when you just met somebody? It happens. It's very special. Like, sharing a joke, everybody's laughing. So it's very special. So that's, I think, the socialization that we actually need. And it takes, for most people, with most people, it takes time. So you have to, I believe, see a person several times to figure out if they are your person, if you can synchronize on the same thing. So if you're going to play volleyball together, do you actually enjoy it? Do other people enjoy it exactly the same way? When you share that emotion, I think that is what true socialization is. It's not necessarily just chatting or being around people. And to invest that time, that's difficult. And a lot of people don't know what they like to do with their free time. We don't really put much thought into it. We go to universities, we try to get a career that this is what we're going to do for the 8 hours that we work. But we rarely plan what is it that we do after, because we react to what is happening to us. We need to drive, we need to cook, we need to eat, we need to take care of children, whatever, parents. People don't spend necessary time to plan what they want to do. And if in childhood you didn't establish your hobbies, you didn't figure out who you are, right? What brings you joy, it's a little bit difficult. And so people find themselves in a situation where they just don't really have the energy or capacity to go out. And I think people who truly enjoyed, not everybody, were lucky enough to find themselves in a situation where they had pure joy in a group of people, where they shared same emotion. I think it's rare. Not everybody has experienced that. And like, to me, it's one of my favorite times for me was during COVID, where I had my group of friends who would go. We used to go dancing before COVID, and then COVID hit. We couldn't dance anymore because obviously it's very social. You have to
No
be
dancing, tango. Yeah.
dancing tango, yeah, Argentine tango, and yeah, we couldn't go to the dancing studio anymore, and then I had this thought of like, well, how do we figure out the problems? How do we solve the problems? Is there other solutions? What can we do? So I reached out to my friend, and she wasn't my friend just yet. So I reached out to another person with whom I had great energy, Sally. Shout out to Sally.
Shout out to Sally.
Yes. And I reached out to her, and I was like, oh, I don't know. It's a kind of a touchy subject. Like, are you comfortable meeting in person? And like, maybe like dance, maybe, I don't know. And she was like, hell yes. So I was like, oh, okay. And then we found a couple of more people, because we need couples, we need men and women together. We hit up a couple of other people, and then the next problem was, oh, where do we go? Do we find a studio? Because all the studios are shut off. So Sally's like, well, I have a living room and a garage. Let's go there. So we all went there and we moved the furniture around. It was crazy, but we found a space and we created our thing. And we started meeting every week. And it's like, no matter what's going on with everybody's week, we just meet up on Friday and just like all the worries are gone. We're just dancing and we're having fun. And we were and we still are all very different people with very different careers, goals, and life views. But yet this brought us together. And I think this was such a big joy because we were truly able to do something that we all love. Like we connected for that hobby together. And of course, it became, friendship. We would talk about our, I don't know, worries, whatever happened at work. But it took time and it was a lot of joy. And when COVID finished, everything opened up. It was a little bit more difficult to meet. But to me, I always go back to that time, how this was a true socialization that is just feeding my soul in a positive way, even today. And of course, I have plans to recreate it, but life gets in the way. But this is what I'm talking about. So you just give chance to people that
Yeah,
you
but
don't know.
not everybody has these ideas, right? For example, me, I live far away, right? I live like in suburban area, and for me, it's hard to like. Okay, I figure out what I like. Okay, I like table tennis, right? I like ping pong. I do like volleyball, but to actually plan and find people as similar-minded people, right, and organize and like you said, be consistent. Like you guys are meeting once a week, right? To be consistent, that takes determination, and I feel maybe the attention span in the modern culture is that we want everything fast. We want the high dopamine fast, and then we get into that stagnation mode. And again, we like inject ourselves with something exciting, and then again there's a stagnation mode. So how do you actually I guess, right, find yourself, find what you like, and then be consistent and find the ways, okay, how to be more social in real life, not online, right?
So I have a question to you. I have this bonus because I can ask you questions too.
Yeah.
So like, do you think this issue of loneliness, is it a personal issue? So is it an issue of an individual, or is it an issue of the society, right? So is it a selfish thing?
Okay,
Is
I
it a
can
self-
clarify that. I think there is a difference between alone and being lonely. For example, I am extremely happy to be by myself, right? Have my own time.
Fair.
I do painting, I do reading, I, watch TV show, I, take a hike, I go to the beach, I write, right? But then in those times I don't feel lonely. I feel lonely. I think loneliness meaning having a companionship of the person who shares the same interest, who you have chemistry with, right? Who you enjoy spending time with. And I think that's the problem, because there's so many things which you can do. This Burning Man, there's this music festivals, there's restaurants, there's bars, people go out. Yet many people do find themselves lonely. And like I said before, not just by themselves, but in a relationship, right? I've seen people who've been married for many years and they still say, you know what, I feel lonely. And I also had times in my life when I was in a long-term relationship and I felt lonely, even though I had that person. And I feel, why did I feel that way? Why did I stay? But I guess the question, why did I stay in that lonely relationship, even though it didn't bring me happiness? I don't know if it's fear of abandonment. I don't know if it's fear of dying alone, or, just being bored to death. But I feel this is an issue I see across different audiences, and I'm trying to understand why. And you asked me the question, and I think maybe because we have so much choice online, right? You feel like you can substitute friendship. You feel like, especially in dating world, let's say if we talk about relationship, right? You have one person, you have chemistry, but then tomorrow you're going to see a better looking person. The next day you can see a funny person, and people don't stay consistent. And they keep jumping and hopping from one person to another, chasing that feeling, right? The imaginary feeling that they're trying to feed, that they never get it. And those people, actually a lot of people in my environment, that stay lonely and single for years.
So what I hear, in your response, and is that possible solution to loneliness, from what you're saying, is a partner right? The life companion.
Mm-mm.
And I think it is extremely important to have a partner,
Mm.
but I think your partner will never substitute your social circle. So it's one of the
Okay.
different aspects in life, because your romantic partner, person you spend your life with, obviously there's a lot
Mm.
more to it than just socializing with them, right? You're building the life together, you're going through all the struggles together. In addition to all the romantic and social aspects, there's also the routine and just, you know, paying bills, organizing who is getting groceries today, all of these aspects to just going through life, right? The very practical aspect of life and very fun and beautiful aspect of life together. But social with other people is
Mm-hmm.
something else, and it does something very different to your brain, I believe.
You know, bingo, because a lot of couples, many couples that I know, they lose themselves being stuck within their relationship. They do everything together. They go to the gym together, they have breakfast together, they go out together, they travel together. And sometimes this kind of close relationship might be suffocating throughout time. It's great you have a partner who you can share everything, but also I feel it could take a toll on a relationship because, like you said, you don't have your circle of friends that you can socialize outside of your relationship. So I think it's very important to have your own friends and your own hobbies apart from your partner, right? So you do, and plus you have something to talk about, right? When you have the dinner
Yeah.
together, right? You can share, hey, like I went out and played golf with my friends and this happened. Hey, like, you know, went out and met such and such person, and you share and you communicate. Because if you do everything together, you kind of like stuck in the same stories. You get bored with each other, right? And you kind of lose your own interest, your own self, right? In this relationships.
You know, I think a very important aspect is personal responsibility. That is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. A lot of people have never encountered this feeling of personal responsibility. And I think this personal responsibility has a big aspect of being proactive in things. So instead of waiting for a crisis to occur, you're proactive, you take ownership, you say, this is my responsibility. Obviously, a lot of aspects of our life require personal responsibility, but obviously social aspect is very, very important.
What do you mean social responsibility?
Personal responsibility, right? So, and I think it kind of brings me back to my question to you about whether loneliness is something that is selfish, or loneliness, you know, is something that we collectively are suffering together and it's between all of us. And my thought is that this is part of the problem, that we take loneliness as this selfish problem, same as depression. Depression is very selfish. It's selfish because you are only focusing on yourself. You are stuck with your own thoughts, right? It's very self-centered. And once you lock in your own bubble, and this is where loneliness puts you in your own bubble, and then it leads to depression, you're in your own bubble. It's very hard to see any other perspective, very hard to, there's nobody arguing with you whether you're having a good day or not. It's just you, and you can spiral into something very negative. So I think we have to reframe loneliness as, instead of being very selfish, and in the United States, we love being selfish, right? It's me time, it's love yourself, all of that self-care, right? It's all selfish, selfish. And at the point, you're so focused on yourself that you completely lost track that there's other people and that they are extremely important for your own survival, right? Like loneliness increases chances of dementia 50%, right? That is crazy. So dementia, obviously, disease of the brain. And we don't know how to prevent it. We don't know kind of what's causing it. We have a glimpse, right? We're studying, there's medications to slow it down, but loneliness increases.
You know
dementia chance 50%.
You know what? I remember, sorry to interrupt you, but I remember, before I forget, one of the times, actually good advice, going back to depression, that you gave me actually some time ago and shifted my perspective on things. When I was depressed, you actually told me, oh, it's actually selfish to be depressed. You said, try to think how you can help somebody else and you can help another person. And
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Right. And that actually takes you out of that,
Yeah.
bubble of being selfish and thinking about somebody else. So by taking care of somebody else, by thinking about somebody else's problem, you get yourself out of that mode and you realize, you know what, things are not as bad as it seems, because you keep brewing, keep thinking, you keep like overthinking within your brain, right? creating those freaking, I don't know, what are those chemicals? I don't know, whatever.
There's a lot of chemicals.
Whatever,
Yeah, there's a lot
whatever
of,
the
there's a big
juice,
soup in the brain. Yeah.
whatever the soup, the solanka in the freaking brain, right? It creates those chemicals that you cannot think about anything else. And once you told me that, I realized, you know what? If I tomorrow wake up in the morning with a positive mindset and thinking, okay, how can I help somebody else with an advice? Maybe I can, ask if anybody needs my help with anything. And that actually helped me to get over my depression. I don't know if it was depression. Maybe it was like a,
Well, everybody goes through depressive days in their life. Like you feel low sometimes, sometimes more than other times. But yeah, that is exactly my point. That loneliness, people recognize it. I'm lonely. I'm crying in my room. If I think quite a few adults have this realization that if I slip in the shower today and I'm just incapacitated and the phone is far away, who's gonna come and save me, right? And people keep ruining that. And so to me, it's like, okay, you have identified the problem. What are you going to do about it? And the tricky kind of thing is about this is that this is not something you can solve within 1 minute. This is not something you can, let me go out clubbing, if anybody's even using that word, right? Let me go out like
partying,
to a
going
party,
out,
whatever,
yeah.
to an outing or some yoga session, and that's going to solve the issue. No, solving loneliness takes effort and takes time.
Oh, I hate
because because and I think maybe you hate it because, like I said at the beginning, maybe you have never experienced the true joy of connecting with people. And
I did.
You did?
I did.
So I think if you experience that joy, that's the true dopamine that you would truly try to chase after. What was your
the thing is, I'm trying to get back to loneliness in a relationship, right? I guess we're touching up a more broader topic, loneliness in a society, right? But let's say if we talk about relationship, I know, say, man, right, who would go out, flirt with a girl, they're persistent, consistent, and then all of a sudden, like, they ghost somebody, or they disappear, or they go, inwards, which again is proven there's some unresolved traumas or issues the person is facing for behaving that way, right? But what I'm trying to say is that we're all experiencing loneliness and we're all struggling with it, yet we don't know what to do, right? Like
I know what to do.
You know what to do? What do we do? I thought you would never share this special secret.
No, but like I said, so
okay, let's do step 1 to 3.
Step 1 to 3. Okay, so first of all, FYI, everything is connected in life, right? So once you start living life in a productive way, and productive, I don't at all mean like, oh, you have accomplished a lot of tasks. I'm productive, I mean creative. When you produce things, when you create moments, right? When you create relationships, when you start living life like this, and when you create health and wellness and prosperity and whatever, it affects all aspects of your life. Right? So to socialize, back to personal responsibility, right? So it is your personal responsibility. And the trick is that also nobody's going to hold you accountable. It's personal. Nobody knows about its existence. It's within you. Nobody's going to hold it against you if you're not personally responsible, except it will show in your life that, okay, you're this kind of person who didn't take any responsibility in their life, right? So starts with personal responsibility. You have to remember your friends' birthdays, right? If there are people who are special in your life, you got to remember their special day. And it might be even, their wedding day or when their child was born, little things like this. And if you remember what you're going to do about it, like the easiest, cheapest thing is you reach out to a person, then you call them. Well, call in is right. It's super extra, but it's amazing, right? If you can call a person and say, hey, happy birthday, how are you doing, what you doing today, right? You have created, this was a very productive use of your time. You had created a little rapport with the person, right? And it's about giving a lot, giving more with your family, right? Everybody has decided we're gonna have Thanksgiving as a family as a family holiday. What you gonna do about it? This is your chance to get your family together and establish relationships with your family, right? And then it's your responsibility to provide people good time. If you want to create value in their life, are you an interesting person to talk to? And how do you become interesting? Goes back to curiosity. Are you curious about things? If you're curious about one thing, start digging into that. It will bring you joy, and then you share this with other people. and being curious about other people, being curious about people who are not conventionally interesting, beautiful, or important. We are in LA, right? Everything is about looks.
Ooh, let's talk about that. By the way,
Whew,
people
okay.
can't see, but I have goosebumps. I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love you. You're like, I'm literally listening to you, I have
Oh.
goosebumps. Preach. Okay, so we talk about LA. Everything is about the looks.
Everything is about the looks, LA, right? So what my observations is that a lot of the time, and I get my observations about LA on the contrast, because when you're in this matrix, right, and we're going to define matrix as having the conventional world that you are used to, and everything is familiar, everything is normal, so other people define for you pretty much what normal is. If everybody's wearing shorts, it's normal to wear shorts, right? So we create this matrix, and nobody questions like, oh, maybe we can wear other things, right? So when I get out of the matrix, and this is traveling outside of the United States or talking to people who haven't been living here for a while, it kind of really disrupts the whole system in the brain of how people communicate, how people listen, how people respond to the little pain that you throw in there, right? And we in LA also have comedians who talk about their horrible childhood experiences, and we're all just like laughing, and it's fun. But when you slow down and you think about it, wow, people are going through a lot of rough stuff, and I'm sure everybody is, right? And I feel like here customary to just like laugh it off or not even share. I don't know, it's kind of cliche that people talk about more personal stuff outside of the United States, but it doesn't even have to be like personal to talk about your problems with other people. Talking about your problems with your friends shouldn't be anything revolutionary. Okay, but even talking about, oh, like I'm thinking about like this business ideas, or I was at work and this thing made me think about this. When you share something like this with other people, first of all, not many people do, because the response usually isn't like, oh, we're synchronized and I've experienced this wonder or fun, whatever happened, or anger, right? Whatever happened to you at work. It's usually very standard pre-made responses. And you can really sense this when you talk to people for whom English is the second language, who do not use response of, oh my God, this is amazing, or oh, or my favorite is, oh, like, oh, good for you, like, oh, this is so distancing.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, go to hell.
Maybe somebody will explain this better to you, but for me, when somebody says good for you, it means like
I don't
you
care.
exist separately, completely separately from me.
Yeah.
You have your joys and your sadness. It doesn't affect me at all. I'm just the observer, and it's good
Do
for
you
you.
think the lack of compassion and our inability to feel and our inability to really experience empathy, and actually I remember me and you talked about empathy before, and you told me like, oh, I mean, not in a bad way, but like, oh, you actually don't have empathy. Like, I don't empathize people too much because I feel like I'm constantly like brewing with my own problems, with my own projects. And sometimes I overlook things that I have to be more attentive, I have to be more engaging, I have to be more present, right, in the conversation. And especially from my industry, right, if I work on set, on photo shoots, you know, I said direct music videos. Sometimes, most of the time, I see people being in a social environment, being all the time on the phone, right? And I'm thinking, okay, you are out, you are in social environment, talk to people, right? Ask them questions.
It's
you know,
the curiosity aspect.
It's the curiosity, right?
right?
And many people are closed down, right? I see, oh my God, like everybody, especially if you go to the gym, everybody's on the phone. Let's say if this handsome guy in one corner single and there's a beautiful girl in another corner in the gym, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, they could be like a perfect couple. Yet I look at both of them and both of them on the phone. And I'm thinking, this is a perfect time for you to just exchange eye contact. Ask, hey, like, you know, what is your workout? Like, how are you doing? Possibly exchanging the numbers, right? But they don't even get to that point because they're so not present and absent from the real life. And going back,
I have this like scary thought that, so obviously we have a lot of adults now who have grown up with phones, and what phones and social media do to us. I have a separate thought about it. I don't know that it is affecting our social life in the way that everybody portrays it. I think the like most common belief is that because you're on social media, that somehow takes away from your actual social life. I think they're completely different things. They're completely different things. I think it's social media. Maybe it's called social media just because it has to do with people, it has nothing to do with socialization. It's like it's to do with people,
It's
right?
escapism, right? Kind of in a way.
It's yes, it's that you escape, and it's to me this is purely just a very quick dopamine, because people didn't get enough dopamine throughout the day. And obviously dopamine, right, it's the good feeling that you get from doing things. And it's dangerous to get to be exposed to quick dopamine all the time, because you just want more, but you never get satisfied. It doesn't get you anywhere, right? So to me, it's like you had a hard day at work, you had stress, you had miscommunications, you have responsibilities, stuff like this, and you're just tired. And your response into that, we didn't create what else there is to do in life in your free time when you're at home. You take your phone, it gives you a little bit of that rise in dopamine. And you have, while you're looking at the phone, you have this sense of, oh, I'm resting, I'm having fun. But when you turn off the phone, nothing has been achieved. You didn't prepare a meal, you didn't paint a painting, you didn't establish a connection with a friend, nothing was achieved, right? But so to me, that has nothing to do with being social. And socializing is something else. And sorry, I forgot how did we
No,
start?
well, the thing is, I'm listening to you, but there's many people like myself who unfortunately work from phone, right? One thing is like, okay,
No, personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. You
Yeah,
work from
but-
home. You work from
yeah.
home. You work on your phone.
yeah.
And everybody at this day and age understands what phone is. Like there is no
It's a black hole.
line about it. This is heroin for us, right? This is clean heroin. You get addicted, and when I pick up my phone and I scroll, I have a feeling, oh, just a little bit, oh, just a little more, and you get tremendous amount of knowledge. And the fact that you're getting that knowledge,
Useless knowledge.
and sometimes, right, depends what your feed is. Sometimes there's great things, but in order to actually internalize knowledge, you have to listen to it, you have to think about it, you have to practice it, right? And you have to practice it in real life. Then it becomes your knowledge. When you just listen to it without internalizing, right? Without wrapping your mind around it, without making it your own part of your own thought process, it's useless. So we get that joy that there's so much to do in the world. There's all these great knowledge. There's all these great speakers or funny people, right? We get joy. But when you shut it off, you have created nothing in your life. This is very scary. And I know we're touching about a lot of topics.
I know, I want to
and-
expand on all of them, but let's go
Yeah.
back to the loneliness. I know, let's go back
Loneliness,
to
yeah.
the loneliness, right?
And loneliness in the relationship. I think I didn't address that.
Yes.
And so it, again, to me, very straightforward, comes to personal responsibility of when you are with your partner, it's very easy to get consumed, because I think there's only so much strength in a day you have to complete your work and then complete your chores. And the only other person who is right there is your partner. So you do easy things together. But again, all these, this is the easy things, like all these birthdays and holidays, they don't happen every day. So I think it's fun to plan something for people in advance, so you're going to socialize with other people
But let's
later.
talk about the people who don't have the partner, right? I'm talking about the people who chronically been single and lonely for many years, or
Yes.
for years,
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
So talk about, let's talk about those people who, and I'm not talking about exceptions of the rules. I'm talking about successful people. I'm talking about people who are established. I'm talking about interesting people, smart people. I'm talking about like the outcasts, right? I'm talking, and I have both friends, female and male friends, extremely successful, very intelligent. Yet I feel, and then I shared with them that, and I see from their lifestyle that they are lonely. And going back to what we talked before, I'm trying to understand and discuss and maybe share some ideas. Okay, what do we do to feel less lonely? And I know one of the things, more of in-depth things that we touched upon, is not planning, not organizing, but what you mentioned earlier is to figuring out your life purpose, right?
Yes,
Do
okay,
you want,
life purpose, yeah.
do you want to expand on that? How do we let's talk about life purpose, how it connects to you, to your lifestyle, making choices, and being or not being lonely.
So it's obviously the biggest question, or one of the biggest questions on the planet. What is the purpose of life? Everybody's trying to figure out. Well, not everybody. Some people who are interested trying to figure out. Philosophers are talking about it. And that's why the subject is fun. But to me, it doesn't have to be so global dramatic, right? There is the purpose of life to be figured out as a philosophical topic, but then there's also kind of a goal for your personal life. What is the purpose of your life? And I think a lot of there's misconception that it has to be something dramatic, right? And there has to be calling in your life, what your purpose of life is. And I think that if you're after 30 and you don't have a purpose of life, you better pick one that is
But
random.
Malaya,
And
it's like
let me tell you what I mean. You pick up a random purpose of life that is grand, that is big. And to me, this is very straightforward and very obvious how, and I should encourage a lot of people to adopt this purpose of life, is helping others. Okay, so your purpose of helping others. Once you establish, and of course, you can pick many other different purposes in life, right? And guess what? You can change your purpose in life as you grow older. It's not a contract you sign and you have to stick with it. But understanding what you're living for gives you a lot of direction. It gives you a lot of direction in your relationships. It gives you a lot of direction in how you spend your free time, what kind of job you do. And that is very helpful. There's too many choices, too much noise in modern life. So if you have one thing straight, and even if it's for the next 5 years, you have this goal, purpose in life, not goal, purpose in life, I think it will be helpful. Will be really, really helpful for you. And that around that purpose, you will form your social and romantic interactions. So if you have a big purpose in life, I think it's you will be kind of understanding that you need a good, strong friend circle, family circle, strong partner next to you. And that means that when you are thinking about dating, right, you're not going to be dating, just to hang out, right? You will be dating with the person who will help you achieve your life purpose and who will be happy for you to have that life purpose, who will be supporting you in your life purpose while pursuing their own. And
yeah, but look, many people say my purpose in life is to travel. My purpose in life is
that
like
is
enjoying
okay, you can
the moment.
you cannot choose purpose in life, something that you can get out of the way within a year. Like you can travel for a year, you can visit most of the countries in the world. If you're a good planner, you can visit all the 192 countries in the world, right, and get it over with. That is not the purpose. That is goals. Goals is great, right? But purpose is something more deeper, something spiritual. It's one of those things that I also believe strongly affect your health.
How?
Okay, so when you are prisoners, right? So people who are in prison pretty much for life. Like imagine yourself in that situation. You're in prison for life. You cannot choose a job. You cannot choose to sleep in. You cannot choose to wake up early. You cannot choose to change. You cannot choose to be a slob. You cannot choose anything. There is no choices. There is no perspectives. It's very difficult to internalize that. That causes a lot of health decay because your body, right? Why am I living? Your body will respond to your psychological thoughts of there is no purpose in living. However, when you take I read the book, I think it's called Say Yes to Life. It was a very small book. It was given to me by our dad when I was going through some rough times in life. And it was written by a psychologist who found himself in a concentration camp, and how it was extremely difficult to find purpose in life and, and do therefore anything. So you don't eat if you don't think you're going to live tomorrow. You don't move around if you don't think you're going to live tomorrow. You don't talk to your friend or person next to you if there is no point in tomorrow. And so he was describing how by having the purpose in life, how he made his purpose, right? He's going to see his family, he's going to see his children, how that would get him through camp, and he survived it, right? To write the book, and then he would continue teaching in universities. And he saw that people who would give up, they would just die faster. So and I'm sure there is other research that I cannot quote right now, but I'm sure it exists, how this purpose in life gets you moving, gets you being productive, and again, in a creative way. You take care of your body, you take care of others, you produce things in life, you produce value to others. And back to the loneliness thing, that if you take it as a selfish thing, you sit with it at home and you think how lonely you are. And the question always is to you, what kind of value do you provide to other people? And value is not necessarily that, oh, I'm this good looking person and with good looking people we can hang out together. Value okay, this is how I see it, but value, right,
Love it.
can be something more. Like, how many people can say, I have a person who's got my back if my apartment burned down, car burned down?
I can share something with you. I did an
Please.
experiment. I deactivated my Instagram for a
Yep.
week. And I was
Ooh,
wondering who
is
will
that-
reach out to me and
is
see
that
if
the
I'm
big deal?
okay. I'm not going to name it, but there was only 2 people.
Oh God.
2 people from my circle reached out to me and asked if I'm okay. I was okay, but I was just doing like a test, and I realized it doesn't mean how many followers you have. It doesn't mean how many comments you have. All of that doesn't even matter, right? The real life right now, right here, the present matters the most. Forget about the past, forget about the future. This is the moment where we live in. And going back to your thought, right? To the loneliness and to being responsible and to having the life purpose, it feels like in my case, you might take a lifetime to find your life purpose, right? It's like, okay, so I've been thinking
No.
about it. Like, what is your?
I think
how
like
do you?
passive approach. Like, I'm gonna be
Okay, so how do-
waiting. I'm gonna be waiting my whole life. And has it been described that revolutionary moment where you were waiting on your sofa very patiently, and then your purpose in life appeared, and then you're like, from now on, I have a better life because I have that purpose. It never happens like this. I think purpose in life, people encounter it through the experiences. It means they have to be out there, they have to be doing things, they have to be participating in like things that make them uncomfortable, right? And I know it's hard, right? But we can talk about how to do it. It's all in your power. It's your personal responsibility. But if you're like, oh, let me go volunteer at the pet shelter, and you see the pets and you encounter that, and then you're like, oh, I think like this is what I really feel valuable doing this. So I think maybe this is my purpose in life, right? And I want to help pets. I want to advocate for different laws. I want to help every single dog or cat, whatever. You encounter that purpose in life, and it means that you have to be doing a lot of things. It means that you have to realize your personal responsibility to live fulfilling life. And living fulfilling life is when you're actually doing things and not on the phone scrolling, blah. But I understand people get tired. But it means you have to think, what is it that you like to do? How do you bring value? And you're creative, you're curious, you go and you do that. And through going through all these experiences, you will encounter your purpose of life. But if you don't have a purpose of life, there is plenty of purposes of life to borrow from other people. And I think people's life would change dramatically if they adopt somebody else's purpose in life and they try to pursue that direction. So how you live your life, how you kind of encourage other people to live their lives, align with that direction, will give you a sense of purpose. And I think it's going to be very helpful. And then with time, maybe you'll encounter a different purpose in life, right? That you actually, that you're like, oh, this is that moment, shebang, now I know my purpose in life. But in the meantime, there's so much work to be done in the world. Oh my God, people need to start doing things, right? People need to go out there, figure out and try and bring your friends while you're doing something cool. And this is how you establish that connection. This is what cures your loneliness. This is when you become valuable for other people. And again, it's not material thing. It's not a vanity thing. It's not the Instagram thing, where somebody with people depend on you for, I don't know, maybe it's direction, like, oh, what are we doing today? Or what, of course, I love the volunteering thing, which can also be tricky because I think there's a lot of useless things, but volunteering is great, right? If you're doing the kind of volunteering, bring your friends along. If you're passionate, I think it shows, and you're actually doing something. You're producing something.
I don't think I can add anything more to this.
But
to
let's see,
thought.
like going back to like what is it that I do, like step one, right? Because like
to wrap it up, right? Like let's summarize, because I know there's so much still to dig in, and
exactly. It's like bottomless topics. So I think step one in any endeavor is research. I think I think you would agree, because I know for your work you do tons of research. I know you're the queen of research. You have to learn, figure out, read different perspectives. And this one is research of just like I don't know how other people's brains work, right? I just know mine. But what is it that like sparks something? Whoa, oh, that was interesting thought in your brain throughout the day. Like what was that, right? You saw something, whatever, grocery store, at work. And something sparked some kind of an emotion. Go into that and start researching. Are there more events? Like, I don't know, you're passionate about food, you're passionate about ballet, whatever. Something sparked your interest. Start pursuing that, and then think like, how can you add more value to it, right? So at first, I think it's research, and then I think another thing to do is to support people who are already doing something, right? Because if you reverse and you think, if I would be creating something. And I have this, I don't know, weird passion. I'm trying to save all the dogs, right? And somebody else, their thing aligns with yours. You see they're trying to do something, and maybe it's a little strange or funny, unconventional. It's like what are you doing? Just support all the interesting people, or all the weird people, right? So I think that's another thing. And I don't know, you want to add the third one for me?
No, I must. I'm waiting for the third one
I
from
know.
you.
Okay, well, let me think about the third one. And I think maybe the third one, it would be to break out of the speech patterns, right? So speech patterns. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is great. Like, can we break out of that? And can you like respond to a person with something more
Let's
substantial?
ban the words like iconic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. Like put things through yourself, maybe, right? And respond with your emotions and add to what they're saying. That creates socialization. Am I saying this word correctly?
Socialization, yeah, that's right.
I think we
Well,
will.
I
Yes.
think this is a good start.
Okay.
I think we touched the tip of the iceberg. And
Yep, just
I know, guys, this is a little preview of our phone conversations that last like 2-3 hours.
Yep.
While I'm driving from work, while she's driving from work, and we have these conversations and topics that help me a lot in my life, and that's how we communicate with Anna. By the way, I call her Malaya. I think I called you one time. We just call each other Malaya because she's. Okay, we're gonna keep the secret. Why?
Maybe one day we'll tell.
Okay, one day we'll tell. But we call each other Malaya. So we have these conversations every day. So you guys had a little exclusive sneak preview into our conversation. So thank you, Anna, for being on the Basic Show. Thank you for sharing your input. And I hope, and I see you in the next episode next week.
Okay, see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.